And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends. Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Gary with Gary Michaels Clothiers Lincoln. I'm here to tell you about our custom shirt program. When you come into the store, we measure your chest, mid-waist, and sleeve length. Enter the measurements in an app, and we create your data fit size. You then try on one of our 99 data fit shirts for the proper fit. After that, pick out the fabric, collar, cuff, placket, and in roughly 2 weeks, your shirts are delivered at the same cost of buying off the rack. And by the way, the neck fits too. Gary Michaels Custom Shirts at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Welcome to Ticket Weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Ben Droz, one of the sports writers at the Daily Nebraskan, and I'm joined here by Anthony and Marissa, both of the assistant sports editors at the Daily Nebraskan, like every Monday. So we have a lot to talk about today, so let's just get right into it because, we had bad weather over the weekend. A softball game got canceled. There's tornadoes on Friday, went through, wreaked havoc on Nebraska, but we had the Husker spring game, and we're going to start with that because Husker fans got to see Dylan Raiola on the field for the first time. I just want to first get your guys' thoughts because that he's the main guy. What were your first impressions of Dylan Raiola?
Yeah, he really just showed out in front of 60,000 plus. That was really the main thing the fans were at this game to see, is just watch Dylan Raiola for the first time in a Husker uniform, and he really did not disappoint. From the start of the game, he looked the part right away while the other quarterbacks were kind of struggling a bit, and he just really kept that play up the entire rest of the game he played in. Didn't play the fourth quarter, but still just had an outstanding performance. 16 of 22, 239 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I had the basically the same impression of him. He was super impressive right away. I think he really seamlessly fell into the role. He seemed very calm from the start. He probably had some jitters going on, but you couldn't really tell. He just seemed really calm and with where he was at, and obviously put on a pretty impressive performance.
For his first time being in front of all the Husker fans, I thought he did a pretty good job. The one thing that I think is going to impress people about Dylan Raiola is even though he's super young, just a freshman, I feel like his pocket presence is already very good. He already has, he's maybe not the most athletic quarterback, but he can be pretty mobile. I'm not going to say he's Tom Brady, but Tom Brady, not athletic at all, but just the way he moves around in the pocket makes him hard to bring down. That I feel like that could be kind of something that Dylan Raiola can also do. Even I mean, he may not be the most athletic quarterback, but just having really good movement in the pocket will make him hard to bring down. But I'm not going to get too carried away by it because we didn't even see the starting defense out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I have my thoughts about that, but I want to first get yours because I find it a little strange that they didn't play starting defense in the spring game. What about you, Anthony, Marissa?
Yeah, I thought the same. Especially, Rule was kind of hyping it up to be, the number ones against the number one offense against the number one defense. But that really was not the case. I mean,
Mm-mm.
the majority of the starters, either didn't play or only played like a few plays. I think Tommy Hill played one series, like Nas Hutmaker, Ty Robinson, they didn't see the field. So it was just very, again, it's hard to really judge these guys. Like, yes, the quarterbacks were making great plays, the receivers were making great plays, but then when you look at who is in coverage and they're just scout team players, third stringers. So
Mm-hmm.
it still showed you a lot. There's a lot of highlights on the offensive side, but defense, it was really non-existent other than the 2 interceptions.
Yeah, it was a really, I feel like, stark contrast to last spring game when the defense was very much the highlight. They kind of blew away. I think it was the red team again, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that was really interesting how the defense, they had it like a decent showing, but obviously we didn't see like their top performing players. I was surprised we didn't see as many starting players, and um, yeah, I just thought that was really interesting.
I mean, yeah, it is because I mean, Rule was hyping this up to be like this is gonna be like an actual game. Like that was like the mindset heading into this was like this isn't gonna be like this is something that they can't have at practice, which is, a real like something that'll feel like a game. You're gonna have fans there, like make it feel like a game. I get it's the spring game and it's not an actual game, but not having all your top players out there, I get like if people are dealing with injuries or whatever, like don't throw them out there, obviously. But like you didn't play really anybody from the starting defense, and that was a little disappointing for me because I mean that's going to be your strongest unit. I mean we want to see them. I mean like that's the unit. Like this is what the Rule wants to accept that or not. This is a defensive minded team. He always is praising the offense and wants the offense to get better, but this is a defensive team. And the fact that we didn't see the starting defense out there was just very strange to me. I'm not like worried about it or anything. It's just very weird to me. But overall, was there one person that stood out to you from this spring game? Because I mean, we got to see a lot of players, a lot of young players, a lot of the more experienced players like Harburg. Was there one player in particular that stood out to you?
Um, Obviously Raiola, but I'll be different here.
Oh, yeah.
There's really, I mean, the whole receiver room, I think, really surprised me. Like, there's obviously guys like Jalen Lloyd, who, had another 60-plus yard touchdown. You'll see that connection a lot this next year with Dylan Raiola and Jalen Lloyd. But then one guy who really just kind of came out of nowhere for me was Ja'Cory Barney, who was on the white team. He's a early enrollee from Florida City, Florida, 4-star recruit. Actually, Dylan Raiola's roommate. So that's kind of cool. But he really had a great game. He had a 41-yard touchdown on the first play of the second quarter. Great throw by Harburg, but he made a great adjustment to track that ball down in midair, catch it. And then his very next touch, he took a kickoff 78 yards back, would have had a touchdown, but he thought that Tristan Alvano was on his team because of the gray jersey he was wearing. So a little bit of a rookie mistake there. But he really just showed a lot. He showed his explosiveness throughout the game, and especially on special teams. If he can bring that to the kickoff return unit, to the punt return team, that could be really big for Nebraska, as that was a unit that they've really struggled with this past year, really past years before that. So I really liked what I saw from Barney on Saturday.
Was there a player that stood out to you, Marissa?
Yeah, for me, there was a lot that stood out, but one in particular was sophomore running back Dante Dowdell. I think that's how you pronounce
Mhm.
it. Um, hadn't seen much of him before, but he had some really good plays. Definitely early on, but
Yeah,
I think
2 touchdowns.
yeah, 2 touchdowns, and in the second half, he had that one play where every yard in the whole drive was basically his. And he had a 61-yard scoring drive was credited to him. He had 61 yards on 3 carries, including a 49-yard touchdown
Mhm.
burst. So that was really cool to see from him. And Rule talked about him a little bit in the post-game press conference about how he was really impressed by him and lost the quote, but just basically saying how he's impressed and saw like a burst from him that he hadn't really seen before. So yeah, that's someone who stood out to me.
No, yeah, I'm super excited about the running back room this year, this season, because I mean they're going to be good. I mean, you have Dowdle that's doing this, and he's like, what is he going to be? Third?
That's what people were
Fourth?
thinking,
I mean,
but you
like,
know,
I
after
mean,
his performance,
yeah, I mean,
it's
yeah,
like,
you never know.
it
You
shows
could-
he might have a bigger role than people were anticipating.
yeah, I mean, he could obviously move up, but like he was seen as like the third or fourth best running back
Yeah.
on this team. So like, I mean, that should make Husker fans feel really good about this running back room. But the player that stood out for me, and I'm going the opposite way, stood out bad, Tristan Alvano. Okay.
Yeah.
He was 1 for 3, and his 2 field goals he missed them pretty bad. Like they weren't close, like at all. So, I mean, I'm not like worried about him too much for the season, but I just thought it was very strange that Nebraska's kicker went 1 for 3 in the spring game. Just not a good start to the season. I'll just say that.
I mean, he didn't have a great season last year either. I think he missed like 6 field goals or something.
Yeah, I mean, he was a freshman last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
he was seen as like this big time kicking recruit. I mean, he has potential, but I mean, we got to see a big jump in this second year from him, because if you don't, I mean, you can't have kicking problems if you're trying to compete in the Big Ten. Like you cannot have kicking problems. So, it's going to be something we're going to have to monitor, because Alvano, if this was an actual game, I feel like we'd be getting a lot more people would be talking about Alvano going 1 for 3. Imagine like Nebraska's playing Iowa and he goes 1 for 3. That easily could lose you the game. Like, like that would be unacceptable. So that was the person that stood out to me bad. But I'm gonna be super generic and just say Dylan Raiola, because I was impressed with him for the first time I got to see him live playing for Nebraska. I thought he did pretty good.
Oh yeah.
He's definitely going to get better as we get into the season, more through the offseason. But I think this was about what I expected, and that's good. I'm glad he wasn't underwhelming for the first time Husker fans got to see him, because that would have really, dropped the mood a little bit. I'm not going to say he played like amazing and oh my God, but he played pretty solid, and I think Husker fans should be pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I think all the quarterbacks, the big three really had their moments. I mean, Heinrich Harburg and Daniel Kalen both had slow starts in the first quarter. They both just took a while to them to get set in, but especially in the second quarter for Harburg, he really stepped things up. And you can tell that he's really, worked over his throwing motion, worked on his passing this offseason, as that was really the one knock on his game. The biggest knock on his game last year is just, his throwing motion.
Wasn't an actual quarterback.
Yeah, he wasn't accurate at times, but you can tell he's definitely focused on that game a lot. He proved that he still has legs, had that nice run in the second quarter. And then Kalen, he might not have had the big plays that Raiola and Harburg had, but it was still, he got better as the game went on. He had that pick in the first quarter, but towards the second, third quarter, he really stepped up his play a little bit. I think he still has some work to do behind the 2 other quarterbacks, but still not a bad performance at all from him.
Yeah. Do you have something to go, Marissa?
I was just gonna say, I'm glad you mentioned Harburg, because like that is someone that I think should deserve some recognition too, along with Raiola. You could tell he's done like a lot of work in the off season, and one thing about this game is that they focus a lot on like their passing game, but I think his strength is more on the run side of things. So, even though we didn't get to see much of that like in the spring game, I think come fall, if he gets a chance to, go in at some points, I think he can really shine in that area.
No, I completely agree. I'm super excited to see Harburg this year. I don't think he will be the day one starting quarterback for Nebraska. I think it's probably going to be Raiola, but it's not going to be like we're never going to see Harburg on the field. They're going to find a way to get him involved. He's too, like, for an offense that's not uber talented, you can't just leave someone like Harburg, who honestly runs pretty hard with the football. You can't just leave him on the bench and not use him ever, in my opinion. Like, you have to find a way to utilize him at some point, somehow, because I mean, he's good enough to be able to get on the field in some capacity, in my opinion. Even if he's not the most complete quarterback, if you're running option or something, like Harburg could probably do that maybe better than Raiola would. I don't know. We haven't seen it, but I I really feel like Harburg, he is competing for this quarterback one job. And I'm applauding him for it because Dylan Raiola is not going to just get handed this job. There was a lot of people that if you put them in Harburg's shoes, they would have just, they would have kind of taken a step back and not accepted the challenge. Harburg accepted the challenge and he's going at it for the quarterback one job. And honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he does get the quarterback one job week one. It wouldn't totally surprise me. I do think it's going to be Raiola, but I wouldn't be super shocked if it is Harburg day one.
Yeah, I also think it's going to be Raiola, but Harburg's proved it in the past. Last year, he went out there, he won Nebraska football games. They played their best football of the season with him at the helm. And yeah, he's just getting better from that last season. He has a year of film to look off of now to see, how can he improve this games? What areas does he need to improve on now playing against these Big Ten defenses, these college defenses that Dylan Raiola has not played against yet. So it's going to be a very interesting competition over the summer into the fall camp. And yeah, it's a good problem to have for Nebraska with Dylan Raiola and Heinrich Harburg, especially how they played this weekend. Really, both of them proved why they should be a starter.
No, I agree. I like that we're going to get a quarterback competition because I really don't feel like there was I mean, there technically was, but it was kind of just like, in my opinion, it was rules saying, "Hey, Sims, you're quarterback one," and not letting Harburg and Purdy really feel like they can get an opportunity to get the job, unless an injury or he just played really bad, which he had the injury and Harburg got in. But like, Rule is very stubborn about subbing quarterbacks out. Like it had to be like 3 straight interceptions before he would take someone out. Like he was very stingy about changing quarterbacks, which I think is going to be very interesting this year. Because what if week one, hypothetically, Raiola is week one starter? What if he is struggling right off the bat, like really bad? Like Nebraska could lose week one game, struggling bad. Do you pull him? Do you leave him in? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it because like Nebraska, like they can't afford to lose week one because Raiola is not playing good.
Yeah, especially against UTEP week one.
Blue blood.
This isn't one of those years like the past,
Minnesota.
3 or 4 years where they play a Big Ten tournament on the road week one or in another country week one. They're playing a UTEP team that, they should be. And just looking at Nebraska's schedule, we talked about on the show before, it's very easy at the front of it until you get down to like the Ohio. But this is a Nebraska team that
should bowl.
Yeah, they should bowl. They could maybe even be bowling before they play Ohio State in whatever week it was, week 8, week 9, whatever. So it's just going to be there's some of these games are going to be really unaffordable to lose when you have just such deep expectations for the team, such high expectations. So I think Rule is probably a little less patient this time around, especially, working with all these guys for Harburg. He's worked with him for 2 years. He knows that if Raiola, say, is struggling, he could throw Harburg in and he trusts him running the offense.
I say Raiola should start if Rule feels comfortable that he can win them football games. You got to put whoever out. You got to put the quarterback out there that's going to win you football games. I don't care if it's Raiola's the bigger name. That's what fans want to see. Nebraska needs to get to a bowl game. I mean, come on. Like, I don't care. I don't care if Harburg starts. If it takes Harburg starting this entire year for them to get a bowl game, I'm fine with it. Because if Nebraska doesn't have 6 wins by the time they get to Ohio State, they're probably not gonna make a bowl game. I mean, let's just be for real. They'd have to beat Iowa. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to beat Iowa. Like you'd have to be a pretty good team. If you're not at 6 wins by the time you get to Ohio State, you're gonna have to beat a pretty good team to get to a bowl game. And they couldn't do it last year. We'll see if they could do it this year, but it's definitely going to be interesting. One last thing I want to touch on, because it was kind of significant news. Chief Borders entering the transfer portal. I just want to get opening thoughts. What is your initial reaction to that?
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was the first player to enter the transfer portal in the spring window for Nebraska. And it was just a guy who I really expected to have a big role on this team this next season. I mean, he didn't have that big of a role last year, but Matt Rule called him one of the most improved players of the spring practices, spring camp. So very, very interesting.
Yeah, I was also very surprised. I've actually talked to Chief Borders. I did a feature on him last Was it last semester? I guess it was last semester, and I really got to know him and his family, and he just seems like a really great guy, just all around. Obviously he's a talented football player, but also he's really strong academically. Has done so much in the community, and I was just reading like just a couple minutes ago, just last weekend, he was recruiting in Georgia. He was trying to recruit like one of the top quarterbacks in the country. And so he's like obviously been very active more recently, which is kind of interesting that he's been doing that for Nebraska and then does this. But I mean, I wish him the best of luck, of course, and I think it says a lot for Nebraska that he's just the first transfer to leave Nebraska. As we've seen with a lot of other programs that have lost a lot of players, to only lose one at this point, I think is really impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive in essence, but this is a very young team. Not surprising that not too many people left. But I mean, yeah, I've talked to Chief too. He does not seem like the type of guy that would be like, man, this like rules just terrible. This culture, like he's like that's not at all. Like he's loved it at Nebraska.
Mhm.
So it's really making me wonder because I'm not gonna flat out say it. But remember when Rule was talking about the tampering and people calling or texting players and be like, hey, we'll give you X amount of money to come play for our team. That's all I'm going to say. Because I just don't think, like, there was no indication at all that, like, he had a really good spring here. So maybe that, like, because he was playing so well, he started getting looked at from other schools. I don't know. But I really feel like there's something that probably hush-hush, money under the table. I'm just going to say it because I just don't see why he would leave if it was something other than money. Because like he was gonna have a significant role this year. He's loved it here. It's not like he got benched halfway through last year or something. Like it's not like no one saw this coming really. He was performing very well in spring. All the top writers here saying he had a really good spring. This was a significant. I'm not gonna say this is a huge loss, but this was a pretty big loss for Nebraska. If I'm being honest on the defensive end. So best of luck to him, but I don't know. There's something behind closed doors that we're not hearing yet. Do you have anything to add on that? You got nothing? Did I hit the hammer? Did I hit the hammer right on the nail? All right. I did such a great job.
Yeah, one thing that I did want to mention before I transition, this one isn't necessarily related to Chief, but a comment that was like interesting that Raiola made is how he's taking off a couple of days and then going to train with Patrick Mahomes and his trainer.
Yeah, I saw that.
I thought that was really interesting, so I just wanted your thoughts on that.
You want to give him?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Obviously, a great player, and he's working out with his trainer too. So a great player and a great trainer to work with over the summer and help improve your game. And I mean, we did kind of see some flashes of Mahomes in the spring game. I might be drinking a little too much of the Kool-Aid here, but he made some impressive tight window throws. He was even throwing interceptions like Patrick Mahomes off of the receiver's hands. So it's going to be a very, very fun offseason to see him progress and see what he brings into the fall.
And I'm not going to be the person that makes the comparison, but there have been people comparing Darren Raiola to Patrick Mahomes. Not me, but there's actually been writers that have compared the two. So I mean, it should be a good sign that Raiola already is like that big of a name that he's getting to work with somebody like Patrick Mahomes. I mean, like literally the biggest name in football. I mean, he is. Probably that's Tom Brady, but he's not even playing anymore. Of active players, Patrick Mahomes is easily the top name. So I think that's a pretty big deal. I hope it makes him a lot better because I'm super excited to watch Raiola this fall. But with that, we're going to throw it to break. When we come back, we're going to get some baseball and softball talk going because baseball had a pretty good week. Softball, not as much. Kind of been the story of the year so far for baseball and softball. But with that, we're going to throw it to break. You're listening to the Daily Nebraskan Show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
One action, no matter how small, can have a world of impact on the life of a child. Cedar started because one couple believed that they could provide a child with a better life. And that belief grew into the Cedars that we know today, a powerful force for good that helps thousands of kids across Nebraska. Belief grows.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Hi, this is State Senator Carolyn Bosden. Education is a cornerstone to building a strong, vibrant community. I voted for the historic increase in funding for education in the legislature. As a state senator, wife, and mom, I believe Lincoln is a great place to work and raise a family. My husband Reggie and I are local business owners and understand the valuable role of education in our community. This is Carolyn Bosden, and I am asking for your vote on May 14th, paid for by Bosden for Legislature.
Hi, it's Tom and Mike from Husker Rewind. And did you know that people who are represented by an attorney are often compensated up to 3 times more than someone who is not?
Friedman Law has been helping injured people for over 60 years. It's all they do. If you're ever seriously injured in an accident, call Friedman Law at 402-476-1093.
Friedman Law is a family firm that works hard for Nebraska families just like yours.
So if you're ever injured on the job or in a crash, contact Friedman Law at friedmanlaw.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Old School with DP&J.
Nebraska and their staff, football-wise, have done a really good job of, keeping guys, happy. And then obviously they see the opportunity here. Whereas I don't think there's a general reason that you can say, okay, this is why kids are going in the portal. Now we're seeing, even when they're in really good situations for them, they still leave.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round. And their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at gainatrucking.com.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up
But why?
because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela, they let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hello and welcome back into the Daily Nebraskan show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben, Anthony, Marissa still here with you for about another half an hour. We're about halfway done with the show. This segment, we're going to get into some baseball and softball talk because both played over the weekend. Baseball went 2-1, I believe.
Yep.
They lost to Iowa on Sunday. And the softball went 0-2, and they had a doubleheader on Saturday, and the Saturday game the second one got canceled. So they lost both games to Northwestern they played. Let's first go into baseball because, 2-1, not bad against Iowa. They again lost. I don't even know if we touched on the Tuesday game on this show. I'll just quick. They lost another midweek game.
Yeah.
So,
nothing new.
Well, yeah. We don't even need to talk about it too much. This is just expected. Baseball plays Creighton on Tuesday, probably going to lose again. So, but overall, they ruled Iowa on Sunday, 12-2. On Friday, won 7-4, but then lost the last game 1-4. So, I just want to get your initial thoughts on the weekend for baseball.
Yeah, overall great weekend for Nebraska. Won Friday's matchup 7-4. They were down early. Brett Sears had definitely his worst outing of the season so far, which overall wasn't even that bad. If you give up 4 runs in 7 innings, you can live with that, and that's exactly what Nebraska did. Came back, had a big 3-run home run from Tyler Stone in the 5th inning. Scored 3 more runs throughout the game. Iowa was scoreless, got the win there. Saturday, they started playing. We're up 8-1 in the 6th inning. Then rain played a factor, weather moved it to Sunday. And then another delay happened before that game even started. It was a long day on Sunday for Nebraska baseball, but they were able to still, stay hot for that game, beat Iowa in 7 innings. But then the Sunday game, Iowa started their ace, Brody Breck, which is very interesting, I think, to save your number 1 guy for the Sunday game. I get it for like a rubber match type situation, but in a game like this, it's really not that big in the long run as Nebraska already won the series.
Yeah.
Either way, he pitched lights out, 7 strikeouts, only allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was a tough outing for Nebraska against arguably the best pitcher in the Big Ten, but overall, just a great weekend for him.
Yeah, winning 12-2 against Iowa on the first Sunday game, pretty good. I thought is this the first doubleheader they played this season?
I think so.
In the same day?
Yeah.
I don't think they've done so. Do you feel like they lost the second game more because the ace pitcher, or you think maybe because it was their first back-to-back, maybe weren't as prepared for that?
I think definitely the pitcher. They really only played 2 innings of that that first game because they did the majority of that on Saturday. It's just that was just a outstanding performance from Breck from Iowa, but I don't expect that to hurt Nebraska in the long run. I don't think it's that big of a deal. You're playing against an elite pitcher. He's gonna have his moments, and you've already had the series won. So I think that Brett Sears, just highlighting his performance, 5 innings pitched, 8 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts, which again, is not the best outing from his standards, but still a solid outing. It was still an outing that Nebraska was able to work around and still beat Iowa in. So while he might be mad at his performance, really doesn't. I don't think it will affect him personally in the long run. I bet he goes back to his normal form on Friday. So overall, I think this team, nothing to really worry about here, except for the midweek games when you been pitching really seems to struggle.
Yeah, midweek has definitely been tough. Sorry, I just got super off track because I just happened to open Twitter, and the first tweet I saw was from Joseph, a senior sports editor. Matt Rule was at the Zach Bryan concert tonight.
Wow.
He was wearing an 1890s hat, so repping the NIL, and he was at the Zach Bryan concert.
That's who I was performing. I've seen a lot of people around. I was like, who's performing?
Yeah, Zach Bryan. And Matt Rule was there. And wearing 1890. So I just thought that was weird. Why was he at a Zach Bryan concert? I don't know. Maybe he's a fan of his music, but I thought I like that. I like that Nebraska is pushing the NIL so much because that's what really needs. That's what's going to set Nebraska apart. Even if, the reason this football team can still bring in good players is not because they've been winning so much over the past 20 years. It's more because of the fan base, because of how much money this athletic department still has. And NIL, Nebraska could win on NIL. Like, Nebraska can be a huge contributor in NIL. So that's really working in their favor, in my opinion, NIL. But do you guys have any thoughts on Matt Rule being at the Zach Bryan concert? I just wanted to get your thoughts real quick because I saw it.
He's probably just a country fan, I imagine. And also another thing is Zach Bryan was helping in Omaha with tornado relief over the weekend, which I thought was really cool to see. Saw that a lot over social media. So, there's a support just all over Nebraska for Omaha in general. But it was particularly cool to see Zach Bryan out there.
Yeah, Matt Rule, he was up on stage. He had the camera wearing the. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I wanted to bring it up because I just saw it on the Twitter feed, and I like Joseph's post, by the way, because elite. But let's now get into softball because I want to off on a little bit of a tangent there because I've thought that was interesting. But softball 0-2 over the weekend. They won their midweek game on Tuesday against Iowa 7-6, but the Friday and Saturday game they lost. The Friday game 6-5, and then lost the Saturday game to Northwestern 8-1. Then the second Saturday game was canceled. So softball not too great of a weekend for them. Currently, they sit 27-21 overall. They're 10-8 in the conference, not terrible, but in the Big Ten standings, they are currently 5th behind Northwestern and Michigan, kind of dominating softball. They're 17-2, and 17-3 in the conference. Then Rutgers and Minnesota, both at 12-8, before you get to Nebraska at 10-8. And Nebraska's 5th right now, but everyone behind them in the standings, super close. Nebraska's 10-8 in the conference. They have Indiana 11-9, Penn State 11-9, Purdue 11-9, Ohio State 10-10. All of those teams are right next to Nebraska. Nebraska could easily go to 7th or 8th if they go on a losing streak. But do you guys have any thoughts from the softball games this weekend?
It was really unfortunate for that third game that got canceled as Nebraska was up 5-0 in the fourth inning. They played a doubleheader on Saturday, trying to get ahead of the weather, move the Sunday game up to that. And they were up 5-0 at the top of the fourth before weather delayed it, moved it back to Sunday, and then it just ended up being canceled. So again, when the Big Ten's as close as it is for softball, that would have been a game that Nebraska would love to have. They just needed 3 more innings out of it and to maintain their 5-0 lead. But unfortunately, that wasn't the outcome. And yet every game matters for Nebraska. I don't know exactly how close they are to a regional just outright. I would think if they're 5th in the conference right now, I think they'd have to win the Big Ten tournament just to make it to a regional. So every game really matters at this point.
Because softball, their season's going to be done after this week. I have the schedule pulled up. Their last game is their last regular season game is May 5th before they go into the Big Ten tournament from May 8th to May 11th. We'll have to see where they stand in the Big Ten standings before we get to the tournament. But yeah, they have just the weekend series against Minnesota, and then they're done for the regular season, which baseball still has a few more weeks left, but softball's wrapping up here. It's honestly gone by super fast, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see if Nebraska can somehow climb its way up the Big Ten standings. They're not too far behind Rutgers in Minnesota, but the fact that Minnesota is right above them in the standings and they're playing them this weekend, it's going to be pivotal games. They're going to have to at least win 2 of these games, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how they can do. But overall, if you would have told me with no Jordy Ball that this is where they'd be at, I think that'd be pretty good. Not going to lie. Softball hasn't had too bad of a season, despite the fact that they had a devastating injury to arguably the best pitcher in the country. So, but with that, we're going to throw it to break. We come back. We're going to wrap up the show with some NBA playoff talk because a lot happened. Teams eliminated, teams swept, gentlemen swept, Lakers. So we're going to touch on all that right here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
One action, no matter how small, can have a world of impact on the life of a child. Cedar started because one couple believed that they could provide a child with a better life. And that belief grew into the Cedars that we know today, a powerful force for good that helps thousands of kids across Nebraska. Belief grows.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
Here you go. Coffee's on me and my new BFF. I thought I was your best friend forever. BFF like best financial friend at Members Own Credit Union. Right now, they're offering $100 when you consolidate or transfer a loan or an existing credit card balance and meet requirements. Plus, you get great rates and free advice from a financial partner that will put you first. That sounds like a match made in heaven. Members Own Credit Union is the type of bestie you can count on. Get started today at memberzonecu.org/BFF. Limitations may apply. Equal housing opportunity.
It's getting nicer outside, but it's still hit or miss in the spring on golf weather. Not at Double Eagle Golf. You're home for always 72-degree weather with no wind. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues are underway, but stay tuned for info on indoor golf tournaments and book your bay for after the spring game in late April. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Perch Merch is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in Lincoln, Nebraska. They specialize in screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, window wraps, print collateral, promotional products, and signage. At Perch Merch, they are committed to delivering high-quality products and exceptional customer service. Their experienced team of designers and printing professionals will work with you every step of the way to ensure that your vision is realized. Call for a quote today at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com. Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
24/7 threat monitoring, expert tech support, streamlined communications. Allo has a solution for that. Protect your business with Allo Business. Comprehensive firewall security, Microsoft Teams voice integrated communications, cybersecurity and IT support managed by experts. From productivity to peace of mind, Allo has a solution for that. Allo means business. Protect your business by visiting allofiber.com/business.
Gary with Gary Michaels Clothiers Lincoln. I'm here to tell you about our custom shirt program. When you come into the store, we measure your chest, mid-waist, and sleeve length. Enter the measurements in an app, and we create your data fit size. You then try on one of our 99 data fit shirts for the proper fit. After that, pick out the fabric, collar, cuff, placket, and in roughly 2 weeks, your shirts are delivered at the same cost of buying off the rack. And by the way, the neck fits too. Gary Michaels Custom Shirts at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Hello. Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Back to the Ticket weeknights on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One last segment here on the Daily Nebraskan Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ben, Anthony, Marissa still here with you as we have one last segment before we wrap up the show tonight. We're going to finish right here on The Ticket with NBA playoff talk because 3 games were played tonight and we weren't able to cover any of the weekend games. So I want to get to all of it. But we're going to start with the biggest news of the night, which is the most recent news, which is the Lakers loss to the Nuggets. Now, this wouldn't be the biggest news if the NBA wasn't still pushing the LeBron agenda more than, something like the Timberwolves and Anthony Edwards is the next coming of Michael Jordan. I swear, we see more stuff about LeBron and the Lakers, who are the 7th seed, by the way, in the playoff. We see more about them than the Timberwolves. It's sad, really. When LeBron finally retires, this league is going to suffer for it. I'm telling you. They do not market their young stars, and it's ridiculous. I don't know why. I do not know why. There's so many people. Sorry, I'm a Heat fan. There's so many people that don't even know who Bam is and how good he is. It's crazy to me. Everyone still only cares about Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron. I'm sorry. Steph Curry missed the playoffs. Kevin Durant got swept, and LeBron got gentleman swept first round. Next generation's already up, but do you have any thoughts, Anthony and Marissa, on the Lakers and Nuggets series? Nuggets winning the series 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Murray just hit some big shots down the stretch, hit a big one tonight, had the buzzer beater in game 2. And yeah, it's tough for the Lakers. LeBron had 30 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, did everything he could, but they just couldn't overcome the Nuggets.
You sound like a LeBron apologist.
I mean, I will say, when LeBron retires, yes, the league is going to miss him because he's the greatest basketball player of all time. How are you going to
Anthony, you're ridiculous. You're just
how are you
saying
going to make up for that?
You're just saying this rhetoric just to irk me because come on. You actually think he's the best?
I mean, I do, but that's a topic for another day. Let's just talk about the playoffs.
All right.
But I do think that, a lot of the players might not be getting the respect they deserve from the league. They're just really having to earn it. And that's why a guy like Anthony Edwards, when he drops 40 points in a decisive game last night, he got a bunch of praise. Maybe not as much as, a lot of people think he should be getting, but he still is getting a lot of praise for this series. He's getting just a lot more eyes on his game. You can say the same with SGA for the Thunder. However, he only had 24 points tonight, so you might not see that much. But
see how good he is? See, he's so good. We say only 24.
That's exactly. He's a 31 a game scorer. It's wild how offensive NBA is. I know this isn't nothing new, but just looking at the games, these past 2 days, Jalen Brunson had 47 points. Kyrie Irving had 40. Devin Booker had 49. Anthony Edwards had 40. Derek White had 38 tonight.
We'll touch on that later. So the Mavericks thing is interesting because Kyrie Irving actually is playing way better than Luka, which is very surprising. There was a point, I think it was about 2 years ago, when I said Luka's better than Steph Curry. I said that because I thought Luka was literally going to be the next face of the NBA. I still think he can be, but it's just been weird. I don't know. There's some games where Luka Doncic just looks like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best basketball players in the league. And other times I'm like, Luka was out there? What? It's weird. It's weird to me.
I think he just needs more support. I mean, you have Kyrie Irving, which is great offensively, but defensively, it's kind of struggles. And then when you look at their third best player, at least yesterday, it was Derek Jones Jr. And
he's a former Heat legend.
And for the majority of the year since they traded for him, it was PJ Washington, which if you want to be a title contender, yes, you have Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, 2 star players, but you're going to need more than that, especially, just when those 2 players, your 2 star players, lack the defensive ability.
Yep.
A lot of these championship caliber teams have. So,
yeah, it's definitely interesting, but honestly, Mavericks kind of boring team. Mavericks Clippers, I honestly don't even care who wins that series. Let's get to Suns Timberwolves. I know we were touching on Anthony Edwards before, but can we talk about the downfall of Kevin Durant? Can we just touch on that? Because I think it's clear now more than ever that Kevin Durant needs Steph Curry. Steph Curry didn't need Kevin Durant. And that was shown when Steph Curry won the championship in 2022. Obviously, but Kevin Durant left the Warriors to go to the Nets, made a super team, Kyrie Irving, James Harden. They didn't do anything. I understand. What year was it? Was it 2021?
Yep.
If Kyrie Irving wouldn't have gotten hurt, was it James Harden? I don't know. There was a lot of injuries that year.
Kevin Durant's foot was not on the line. They win.
If he didn't have clown feet, they could have won that series and probably made it to the finals. But I mean, Kevin Durant hasn't made it past the second round, I don't think, since he left the Warriors. And he was on a super team with the Nets, then he's on a super team with the Suns. And it's crazy. It's crazy to me. I still think Kevin Durant is one of the greatest offensive players ever. There's no debating that, but come on, man. He hasn't done anything since being on the greatest team of all time, probably, on the Warriors when they had Steph. He joined a 72-win Warriors team. Well, no crap, he won 2 championships. That doesn't really tell me anything about Kevin Durant. He hasn't won anything when it's him, not being on just the most talented team of all time. And I just want to talk about Kevin Durant downfall because it's kind of ridiculous.
He's really just striking out on these super team formations that he's trying to build. I mean, when you had Kyrie Irving and James Harden on the Nets, the main thing is that they just never could get on the court. All 3 of them could never be on the court at the same time.
Whether it's injuries or just stupidity from
Kyrie
Irving.
Exactly. It's just crazy. And then, I mean, I know the word super team gets thrown around a lot, but on paper, yes, it's a super team, but Bradley Beal had 9 points last night, 4 of 13 from the field, 1 of 5, fouled out. This is Bradley Beal. He's not up to par
to say it.
He's overrated. Okay.
All right.
He put up empty stats for Washington for the back half of his career where he was averaging 30 a night against a team that is in the bottom of the Eastern Conference. And this season, he really just didn't pan out. And another thing is just he hasn't been able to stay on the court, only played 53 games this season, played 50 the year before that, 40 before that. So it's just, I didn't have any faith with this Suns team going into this year.
Me either, really.
And I'm not surprised that they got swept in the first round.
I'm a little surprised they got swept. I can't lie. I'm a little surprised they got swept. I thought they'd at least get 1 or 2 games, but I'm not surprised they lost to the Timberwolves. Real quick before we bow out, the Heat down 3-1, Bucks down 3-1 the Pacers. The Bucks thing, it just sucks that they're not healthy because I really feel like win that series, but I'm not a Bucks fan, so I really don't care about that. But the Heat, man, they had Jimmy Butler, Terry, they just had Terry Rozier. Sorry. He has something with his neck, and he's just always hurt, but it sucks, man. Heat probably going to lose to the Celtics. They're probably going to win, like, 1 or 2 more games, and then it sucks, man. If they had Jimmy Butler, this would be a 7-game series. I'm telling you, but it is what it is. We'll be back next year, stronger than ever. But with that, thank you for listening into the Daily Nebraskan Show right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. We'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, 11 to 12. But until then, see ya.
Alcohol has strained our relationship. Drinking too much can cause harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If